Let's see what's the final pick off for the team from the Myanmar side.
They're looking for AD carry here, right? So they need something that
like
isn't... Yeah, I was gonna say they need something that isn't instantly gimped by Braum. So you can't play Misfortune, you can't play Ezreal because the Unbreakable immediately stops all the ults, right?
Yeah, that's true. I like the Kai'Sa. And I won't touch you, right? Let's just be peace out before until we hit level 5, sorry.
Mid lane, it's gonna be like you said, clearing waves. Ari with the early lead gets the pressure. She actually levels the
early
charm level 2 this time. Because, well, it makes more sense if you have a jungler that's super aggressive like Graves. If you hit the charm, you have enough damage to actually kill the Zed, and you still have to practice the same thing. You still have to practice discipline with the charm. You can't, throw it out willy-nilly, otherwise you get caught and you die.
Fredo, yeah, I think he's gonna kill one more auto attack. Oh, is he gonna go down? No, he survives with the skin of his teeth. Gonna recall. Yeah, he sees the Grace. He knows he's done well. Look at the smirk on his face. He's like, yep, got the advantage, guys.
And for those of you wondering how come, the Olaf does a small jump, it's a mini gap closer. It's one of the changes in WildRift, right? You don't have to have such a close cast range anymore. There's a bit more leverage. So because of that, Olaf feels a lot more powerful compared to the PC version.
Here comes the Grace. Might go for something, but just gonna use the end of the line to clear up the minions. Make sure that the Ari has a good time. 1-0 early lead, but we saw this in game 1 as well. The early lead was with Mythic, but it was just not enough.
Good word there from NX Live. He actually spots out the dive before it happens, knowing that he did die solo already, so now you gotta be careful.
Get bullied away. Oh, yeah, okay, you're fine.
He actually manages to tag him with the undertow and the second one, so those are starting to do damage. Remember that he tends to max undertow first.
Yeah, Solos comes here. Here comes the flash into the Dragon's Rage. It's clean as a whistle, and that's an advantage. Huge advantage for Fredo in the top lane.
If I'm not wrong, the ward did spot Solos out, but he went for that play so quickly that there was really nothing much that NX Live could do about it. If you saw how he executed, he immediately safeguarded over the wall, flashed into kick into Sonic Wave.
Yeah, very smooth execution. That's what you kind of need, right? And Solos, this is why we talked about Lee Sin being such a strong pick.
Very solid Lee Sin player just for this immediate role swap on Jahat. And Fredo, we'll see Ice here. If they kill the Graves, they actually set him back quite a bit because he hasn't really recalled to buy, if I'm not wrong.
Oh,
so
does he know about it? I think he knows. Yep, he saw Fredo. He's not gonna be able to walk in there. He's just gonna clear his Crocs. I think he's gonna recall from that.
Yeah, Ice needs to base here. He needs to buy. Most likely, it's gonna be a Black Cleaver or even Trinity Force.
Oh, but the Jack's wandering around. Both of them are just like playing with fire. They're like, yeah, I know you're there, Zed. I know you're there. Ooh, rip off, pretty close. And now he's gonna go for the death bar. Needs to be careful. Will there be enough damage? He flashes into it. There goes the smoke screen, the turret. It's not gonna be enough. Original back, and now Pajat's the one in trouble. A little bit to that. Pajat can see he's a little bit disappointed with himself. Does go down and gives away a huge swing.
Remember what I said in the pregame, Matthew, about this Graves? You get natural armor from True Grit. You have multiple ways to dash out because of your True Grit dash as well as your collateral damage. And the smoke screen stops any form of, chase down. Right now, Fredo, he has to be very careful. He's under turret range, and there's a lot of mobility on the side of NX Live. He has to be careful. Once he gets aggro, he might just go down. He gets stunned into the clutch. He flashes away. The minions might just finish him. One more auto attack. He drops aggro from the brush, and he's gonna recall inside. And Fredo, he's clenching his teeth. He's nervous. You can see he's on edge.
That was so close, but now this one's not close enough. But John gonna get hooked over the Ignite as well. Now Dragon going over to Team Marshall. This is why we saw exactly the same thing as game 1. Really good macro play coming up from the Burma squad.
Yeah, the Graves is only going to get bigger and bigger, especially if he buys a Tab Eyes or some variation of health, right? So most of the time you'd see like Black Cleaver, you'd see like Death's Dance. These items increase the survivability of Graves while making him scarier in terms of damage output. So he's going to be able to deal with Punjab actually pretty well in the later game. The classic response to Death Knot is you put the smoke screen literally on top of yourself, dash away collateral damage, open some distance and force him to chase you, and just trade out the ultimates.
Yeah, and also you're just disabling the Fog of War. No vision for him. It's so hard for you to follow up, and you always second guess yourself. You don't know what's around you.
That's why I think this pick is really good. It took them the last game of their potential, tournament journey to get there.
Oh, Jax. Yeah, he's dead, I think. There's no... You remember, as Jax, you cannot leap against a ward, but he's actually still staying alive here. Gets kicked away. Dragon Rage will come to Ari's actually being collateral damage. Ice. He's stuck between the rock and the hard place, trying to just macro it out, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to go down there. A little bit of a misplay coming out from Team Marshall.
What happened there was Team Marshall streamed in one by one. You never want to do that, especially in an enclosed area around Baron Pit. You have to take these fights 3-on-3, not one by one.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Alfredo is really, really big. You can see he's queuing up the Sterex Gauge, and I think this Rift Harrow will be going over to Team Mystic as well.
Yep. Once they finish this, they can activate the Rift Herald in mid-tier 1 and look to secure their objective as well. You can see on your minimap the half health bar on the red turret in mid lane is an indication that it will probably go down to the Rift Herald being used here.
Solos does have a good item spike, has that Yo moves already. Now this means that he is going to have so much potential when it comes to pickoffs, right? The Yo move's active, giving a little bit of more movement speed and that lethality. But now, Void Seeker lands onto the Ezreal, not going to go for it. Now, Kaisa has been pretty quiet actually.
She went for Blade of the Ruined King. You pay attention to her build. So Blade of the Ruined King gives damage, gives attack speed. She's going to be closer to her Q and E evolve, the Acathian Rain and Supercharge respectively. So it's gonna be, when I say Kaisa power spec, it's based more on items than it is on levels. You'd see her come alive maybe around the 9th minute mark where she's got all the evolves. She's gonna be a lot more powerful then.
Yeah, I think that's what you're looking for. Remember, I think late game, Marshall looks a little bit better just for the fact that they do have really high potential to go for those team fights. They have that lethality, this Jax and whatnot, but now going for the dive and Hourglass Enchant, really quick fingers for NX Life, gonna keep himself alive. Very good play. Here comes Ice for the help. The cavalry has arrived and will force Mystic away.
What an insane adaptation, Matthew. Look at this guy, right? He says, I've been dove 3 or 4 times in this game. I'm going to go for an immediate Zhonya's Hourglass to survive. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the map, a lot of kills coming out already. Jumping across, Panjat gets the double. It's a 2-for-2 trade, I believe, with Panjat getting all the kill credits there. NX Life has to be very careful. They're still chasing onto him. The flash in the undertow. The Ignite will not do anything in Fredo. He just dives him with the Wrecker Swing.
Yep, that's a really good pickup there. The thing is that he stayed in a little bit too long over there with that Jax. He stayed alive there really, really good. Was a little bit too greedy. Should have just backed off here. Now the main thing is that this Ari and Grace has not really came online yet. They need to start making things happen. They have the farm. They are a little bit behind in terms of EXP. They're just finding a little bit struggling to find their footing, right?
They haven't gotten to the point where they're impactful yet. I think the Ari is still struggling to deal with the early pressure of the Lee Sin and the Olaf. Panjat, meanwhile, has already bought the Dustblade and a Confused Warhammer, so this is going to be pretty scary moving forward.
Yeah, he has the cooldown, he has the lethality, he has the damage output. But the one thing that has got going for Team Marshall is the fact that they got the Drake, and they need to try and contest for the second one, I feel.
It's going to be Air Dragon instead that has spawned here for Marshall. Team Mystic actually taking it very low already. They need to go into range. They might have to smite this collateral damage. No, it's been taken away by the Lee Sin, and now the fight breaking out. Team Marshall reorganizing and re-attacking here in this Dragon.
Olaf,
members of Mystic. Have to be careful. Kaisa has arrived. She's chasing down a quick double kill already. The charm missing, but it does not matter because they have the numbers. They should be able to find the kills here. Brom getting focused down the Deathmark onto the backline. Original Matt has the Zhonyas. They have the space and they will be chasing onto the Ezreal right now. Original Matt uses the charm, will connect, and he should get the kill here. And members of Marshall, the Burmese squad, just chase member after member. Mystic, no one left alive here except for the Zed, who's desperately trying to run away.
This is just like the first game, right? Early game, looking good, looking pretty for Team Mystic. And then bam, wham, kazam, just one team fight, one small rotation. Yes, you can say the Dragon went over to Team Mystic, but they lost the team fight and they lost a turn in the same process.
So 2 things happened there, Matthew. I'm not sure if you noticed, but one is that every important member of the squad has a Zhonya's upgrade right now.
Yep.
So they cannot be targeted, they cannot be killed by Zed in big team fights. The second one is Ace here has been positioning significantly better than the Ezreal when it comes to outputting damage. Ace is always doing damage and repositioning with the Killer Instinct, whereas the Ezreal can't really land anything. So in these big fights, the Kaisa does a lot more than the Ezreal.
Yeah, and we talked about it, right? The late game, they do come online here. They do have that Grace. They do have the Kai'Sa. The Jax as well. They are just traditional late game champions. They just needed time, and now this could be the power spike that they were looking for.
If Fredo takes this fight, he might actually lose. I think I give it over to the Jax right now, just in terms of being able to stand toe-to-toe and duel. The important thing and the key thing being just dodging the undertow, right? If you can get around the undertow, you're completely fine. But if Fredo sticks you with like 5 undertows, it becomes a lot worse.
Oh, that's one. There's 4 more to go, right? Oh, he does go for the counter strike. Does get fun. But the Reckless Swing doing so much damage. I think at this moment, Fredo will still win the one-on-one. You can see the Balling Glacial Fissure was being expanded. They tried to go for an engage with the cover of Penjahat on his Z. So they're pretty confident they're just going to walk away from now.
Unbreakable comes up. They're still looking to take this fight. A lot of damage down onto the Braum already. You can see the stacks from Kai'Sa.
Oh, Zed.
Plasma has been fully stacked up, and now they have to be careful. This split map movement is still pretty good from Team Mystic as they come in onto NX Live looking for the dive. They will be happy and settle for the tier 2.
Yep, good play, good rotations coming out from Solos, went up to the top side. They knew he was just gonna get the hell out of the way. Flash was spun from Jax. He just wanted to stay alive, and the most important thing is you do not want to lose your inhibitor turret so early on, right? Alright, now, what are your thoughts here? In this mid-game, pure mid-game stance, do you still fancy Marshall, or do you think Mystic has a really good chance this time?
Marshall has the better team fight just purely off the build and the composition that they have. And every time the Zhonya's are available, they always win the fight, right? Because Penjahat will be forced to commit Deathmark into a undesirable target. So from then on, they can always reposition, they can always fight. However, Mystic still excels in getting these insane picks because Solos, you see, with the Dragon's Rage has been isolating members.
Yep, and he's doing really well, but there will come a point where this Lee Sin will start to fall off. He'll just become a kick bot, for lack of a better term, right? They need to try and capitalize something from there. At the current moment, I think Mystic, with their lead, will not be able to close out the late game. We've seen from game 1 how well Marshall maneuvers into this late game status, so they need to be careful. Oh, the Void Seeker does tag onto Fredo. He can use the Killer Instinct if he wants to. He's not going to opt to go it for now.
The difference in map status also is that the mid-tier ones have been taken down by Team Mystic. Oh, hold on, big fight here. Glacial Fissure already being used. They're using their abilities to kite away. Look at the backline. Big damage coming in for Team Mystic. They're still jumping forward. Now Marshall in a lot of trouble. The Deathmark. No Zhonya's Hourglass means that he goes down, and Mystic have found the miracle fight that they needed. A great opening coming in from members of Mystic to start that fight and now move to Baron.
A 4-0 exchange. That's what you want to look for. And now they're going to go Baron. That's a big swing. And they hit the full home run. I'm not really sure what happened there. The start looked a little bit iffy from Mystic, but they managed to converge. It was Fredo with that Olaf coming from the backside. And this is going to be a free Baron.
Baron secured here for Mystic. They should be able to use this and leverage the power to push the lanes out. You thought about Fredo in the side lanes earlier being strong and pushing the wave. Well, now with the Baron buff, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, the thing about the Reckless Swing is a little bit of a also change is that it does AoE damage. It's a very small AoE, but it's still AoE. And when they clump up like that, it hits everyone.
Very nasty indeed. Mountain Dragon just adds insult to injury as Solo secures that for his team. The second game in the best of 3.
They're not out of this yet, right? They can still come back. They can still drag the game along, but it's just not looking good. It looks like we are going to go into a 3rd game at the moment, unless Marshall can pull something out of the hat.
I think the tricky part is, the draft looks good, but they haven't really been playing to their strengths. They need to be setting up properly for the Kai'Sa to be doing DPS, and they've just been getting caught in these weird chokes, getting funneled together for no reason.
Well, mid lane, Glacial Fissure will come to. Braum was a little bit of trouble. Blitzcrank is there. Can they find for it? Oh, Jahat with that. Whoa, just deletes that chat. And he's just going to go for it. He's going to juke him out. He's going for more. The highlight reels that the ignite to just clean house for Jahat. The emote to put. I think that's the signal. We're going to go into a game 3. Fredo, he's just buying time. The 2 remaining members, he's going to rotate into the mid turret now.
What was that, man? They get that all in now inside the Nexus. They're going for the final structure, and Penjahat on Zed. If that isn't an MVP play, I don't know what is.
That was a really, really strong play, but I have to say, Fredo was the one with the initial team fight in that mid game to just push the advantage back onto that side.